Thank you very much. Thank you again. The objective of the session today is to try to convince you why you should come together. And I'll explain some of the challenges, then I'll explain what we do in Mukatafa. But today I have more questions to you than answers. As leaders in the industry, are you a proactive or reactive organization? My belief is that most of the organization in the industry are reactive. What do I mean is that there are a lot of changes that are happening in the market. I would categorize them into two. One, there is changes happening in the consumer, and that you know very well, and you can work with either create a demand, change a demand, or cope with. However, there is another element that I believe you are purely reactive when it comes to government regulation. You wait until the regulation is out, then you see how you can adapt with. And this is an opportunity you're missing. You're not paying attention because you think that you cannot participate in developing the policies that are coming. And trust me, you can. But I would tell you today just an example of some of the policy that will impact how you do business in Saudi. There is a lot of changes coming in the Saudization front in terms of employment, in terms of upskilling. What are you doing about it? Second thing, there are changes in the taxation. And I know from working with other sectors what they're doing to influence the government decision on the taxation. The other thing, there's a new regulations coming in SASU, and I think this is very important to you because most of what the sector is supplying is imported. And you need to be part of such development. Someone mentioned, I think in the panel briefly that the cross-border impact, cross-border e-commerce impact on the local market. There is a solution, the bounding zone solution, where you can become practicing your business exactly as of your cross-border, but you have your stores or your inventory or warehouse in Saudi. And this is something available and you can benefit from. This is just an example of many benefits that you can take advantage of only if you are part of a community and you know what are the opportunities that are being provided by the government. Municipality, there's a new standards coming. And many sectors, I'll give you an example, the F&B sector is leading and they rewrote the standards of operation and building standards for the F&B. And when I say rewrote, they rewrote it from scratch. And it's going to be announced in February. It's going to change the landscape of the municipality standards and inspections. Human capital strategy, it was mentioned before. The Ministry of Commerce now is working on a strategy, and they want the engagement of the private sector. And you can add a valuable input only if you come together and influence the decision. PIF competition, you know about that, and you need to know what's the strategy of the PIF. The foreign direct investment, trust me, it is a competition that is coming. And if we don't influence the Ministry of Finance on how to ensure a fair competition coming forward, we will be losing market share. To be proactive, Mukatafa means standing shoulder to shoulder. Standing shoulder to shoulder between the private sector and the public sector. However, it will not happen unless you stand shoulder to shoulder first. You need to come together. When you come together, then we can easily influence the public sector on the policies. I will go quickly on and briefly, and I would love to visit you and your team and your leadership and explain in detail what we do. Basically, when we bring the industry together, we sit with the companies individually to identify what are the industry common issues. Then we go to the government, different sectors, not only Ministry of Commerce, different sector, ZATCA, SASO, Ministry of Commerce, and so on and so forth. And we ask them, what are your policies that are in the pipeline? What are your KPIs in terms of this sector or the retail sector? Then we come to you and we say, this is what we found as cross-sectoral challenges, and this is the government expectations and policies. And we recommend to you what are the policies we should focus on, because there will be a lot of policies. However, we use a criteria where we say, if it's a policy in the pipeline, we need to work on it immediately. It is very important to work on a policy while the development of the policy is happening, not after it's been developed, then we give our opinion. It will be too late. We need to influence the policy while creating it. And trust me, so many times we killed the idea before they start developing a policy. Just by hearing the potential impact of such policy, the government changed its mind and don't develop a new policy. So first criteria, what are the policies that need to be worked on? Two, what are the policies that are impacting your growth or impacting the cost of doing business or ease of doing business? If you agree, we work on a global benchmark to see what's happening globally. Then we come back to you. We develop recommendations to such issues. Because when we go to the government, we want to say, this is what's happening. This is your KPIs as government. This is what's happening in the world. And this is the solution. We see that it will solve the issue. And why the government would listen? Because the industry is mature enough with the resources, with the talent, and so you will develop good recommendations. When we meet, the first meetings, I would say, where the CEOs of the company, we arrange the meeting, we meet the ministers, we schedule the agenda, and then afterward we work with the ministries' operation team to ensure that the policies being developed reflect your interest. All the way to issuing the policy, then communicating to you and to the SMEs as well, to ensure that everybody knows about it. I would love, again, to visit you and explain it into detail, and I'll show you what we've done before and what are the industries we're working on. What it is for you, what it takes from you. Today, there are 2 memberships for medium and large company. It will cost you 8,000 riyal per month. If you're a medium company, it's 4,000 riyal per month. Just for everybody to put in the resources where we can do the research, we can do the communication, and so on and so forth. It's less than a cost of 1 employee. The other thing that takes from you is time. What we want from you, and we have the team, we have 50+ employees working in advocacy. What we will require from you is the time to attend the meeting with the ministers and the time to contribute to the recommendations and identifying the issue. And I mentioned the meetings with the ministers. My question to you, do you want to know my expectations if you're going to come together or not? My expectations are very low, unfortunately. I tried this with many industries, and it's been successful. so many different industries. But for some reason, not in the retail industry. I hope that I can influence at least 20 of you to come together. Today, we have Landmark, we have Shulhoub, we have Panda, we have Tamimi, we have 11. Only 11 companies in the retail sector. There are thousands of companies. So if, not 20, I would wish that only 10 of you decide to spend 8,000 riyal per month and join the leading companies so we can have influence on the policy and creating the future of the industry. I'll show you just one service that we provide out of the 8,000 riyal per month. We haven't done this for the retail sector yet. You can scan the barcode. It's an application where you will get 4 things. One, we collect for you all the news that is related or will have an impact on your industry in one place. 2, you will find all policies or legislations that are related to your industry in one place. Today is a challenge to know what are the latest policy that is impacting your sector. Third, you will know all the policies that are in the pipeline. You need to predict the future. You need to know what are the policies that will create an advantage or an opportunity for you, or it'll create a risk that you need to mitigate. Basically, you can plan for the future better if you know that there is a policy coming and it will have an impact, either positive or negative. That gives you the predictability you need. Fourth and last, all the publication that is related to your industry will be available. Today, it's very limited. We have great organizations that produce good quality research, but the distribution is very limited. So what we do is we do 2 things. One is we'll have it available for you as is. So Kearney publish research, we will have it there. Plus, we will have a summary simplifying the major finding to be available not only for you, but for your employees that in a different level on the organization that they need to be informed of what's happening in the market. So you get all of that, and we have 20 services. If you're interested, I'll share it with you, and I will be more than glad to meet you to show you the 20 services that will add great value to you for 8,000 riyal per month. But you need to come together. We cannot go to the government and say, or have a great influence if we're representing only 11 companies. We need to have the weight. We need to have the voice. If you're small, by the way, it's free of charge. It will not cost you anything. So please, I hope that you prove me wrong. And you join the community, and we make a difference together. Thank you very much.